Good morning, fam. It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and today we are going over my 10 featherweight knives in order from least enjoyable to most enjoyable. This is all personal preference. I've been using these featherweight knives all summer and rotating them, testing them, using them, and I have put them in order from the ones that I think myself and others would enjoy the least to the ones that I and others would enjoy the most. Like I said, personal opinion. This is based off of everything kind of combined into a general consensus. So design, quality, build, how it feels in hand, how it feels in use, materials, all of that, okay? We're not pinpointing one specific thing. It's just a general idea based off of what the model is offering, and I have ranked them. This was actually pretty hard, but we will start with the least enjoyable and move all the way up to the most enjoyable out of all of them. These are all clocking in under 3 ounces, and all of them are extremely lightweight. So, obviously, the first one that we have is the Hogue Delica in MagnaCut. Wharncliffe blade, and this is with the plasticky FRN scales. So, why is this the least enjoyable? Obviously, because the scales are garbage. End of story. These are garbage. They are very sharp. I don't understand why Hogue did not, work on that before they released this, but these are sharp, and I could literally probably snap this knife in half. If I twisted this hard enough, I could literally just, crush this thing, probably. The plastic also feels extremely, extremely cheap, because it's not even textured, really. Now, you guys know I love cheap-feeling knives, I love plastic, all that good stuff. This is almost too far for me, though, which I've mentioned in numerous videos. It's just, it's just almost too much. Also, the pocket clip on this is trash. I could literally just bend this out and break it off right now if I wanted to. I mean, there's no retention. So all in all, it's just very flimsy. The pocket clip, the scales are very flimsy. Now, Jared Neves over at Neves Knives did test this actual Delica in MagnaCut. He did a long testing on it, and it actually performed fairly well in terms of the blade and the heat treat, all that good stuff. It actually didn't do terrible. It did fairly well. So if you're looking for a cheap kind of beater EDC knife with actually kind of decent steel, with a decent heat treat in MagnaCut, pick one up. But I'm warning you right now, it just feels like it just feels like you could fucking break this thing. End of story. So I thoroughly enjoyed this knife. I really like using it, but I just wish that the scales were done a little bit better. I wish the clip was done a little bit better, and I know that other people are gonna feel this and be like, ew, not Hogue's best work, okay? So, least enjoyable out of this entire 10 knife lineup, the Hogue Delica in FRN and MagnaCut. Now, this might come as a surprise. The second one is the Spyderco Delica. And this is instantly where we kind of start to get harder. The Delica was an easy choice for me as to what I disliked, but then from here on out, it was kind of actually hard to decide this. Now, the reason that the Delica is my second knife in this lineup, not scoring a very high score, is simply because it's just a little outdated. Specifically the backlock. Is this a strong knife? Yes. Is it lightweight? Yes. Is the blade shape great? Yes. But it just is a little outdated, and if we had a Delica with a compression lock or a bolt action or something, if this was a little bit redesigned and more modern, it would score way higher, because I do love that blade shape. I really do love it. And the Delica has a lot to offer. It just is outdated. End of story. But this K390 is fantastic. Love the blade shape. Love the ergonomics, how it feels in hand and everything, but compared to the rest of the knives in the lineup, it really just isn't as good as the other ones. But I do love my Delicas. I have a few, and they are fantastic knives. I also just feel that they're a little overpriced, to be honest. For what you're getting, I just feel like $124 is kind of a lot for this. I think it should be $99. I think that the VG10 ones should be like $60, and the higher, like the K390 and stuff like that, I think that they should be no more than $99. End of story. And these are like $124. So, with all of that taken into consideration, it's second for me. Our third one is the Para 3 Lightweight. And this one in particular is in Spy 27. Love this steel. Love it. This is a great knife. However, if you do not replace the wire pocket clip on it that it comes with, that thing is garbage. So I always have to replace mine with a lynch clip because the wire pocket clip is trash. And I have heard from numerous people that these generally come off center. All of mine have been centered, and I've had a few. But yeah, they tend to come off center, and I just I don't know, there's something about it that, like, I love the Para 3 Lightweight, but it doesn't give me the fizz, as Wrangler Star would say. It's like a great knife, but it doesn't make me super pumped to talk about it. It's kind of just like, great. It's a great knife, cool. Great user, great blade shape, all that good stuff, but it doesn't excite me like a lot of other knives in this lineup do. And I do love the compression lock. Love that, I will say. I just really wish that they would work on their wire pocket clips because they're useless. They bend out of shape instantly. They have very poor retention. They're just, I don't know. And again, I don't like the price. I don't like that $134 minimum price tag when you instantly have to buy a $25 clip to replace it, and, you know, you're paying a decent amount of money between a replacement clip and the knife. That's a lot of money out of pocket, you know, and I don't like that you kind of instantly have to work on it. I wish that it would just come with a better clip. The fourth knife in this lineup is the Benchmade MiniGrip Tillion. Sorry about all the dog hairs all over everything. I love the MiniGrip, so this is really where my choices started getting difficult. I love the MiniGrip. It's honestly one of the best knives ever created, in my opinion. This one, I just adore. I love the sheep's foot blade. I love the Spidey hole. Everything about this, I just love. And the price tag is really not too bad for what you're getting. I feel like this is more robust and stronger than some of the knives in the lineup. I've always loved mini grips. I've been using them for, 10 years now, over 10 years. I kind of wish that they would redesign it. Like, the mini grip and the Griptillion are fantastic. And if they just, altered a few things about this, like maybe the thickness of the scales, kind of this butt end here, if they maybe making it even more lightweight, like a mini grip light, I would love that. I just feel like there are a couple modifications that could be done to this to make this, an updated, revamped, modern version of this knife, and it would make it way cooler. I love it, but, yeah, just, again, a little outdated. It could be a little lighter. Not too much to say about it. It's a great, great knife. And I love my mini grips. They're definitely really good beaters for me, especially with that sheep's foot, man. That thing is sick. But, another modification, thin that out a little bit, maybe. Have the same blade shape, but thin everything out, lighten everything up. It'd be really cool. No, I don't think that'll ever happen, but just thoughts that I have in using this, using them for many years. All right, the fifth knife is this Spyderco H1 Salt Pacific 2. I think that's the full name. Or Pacific Salt 2. Okay, so we already had a Delica roll through, so you're probably thinking, why is this in the lineup when it basically is a Delica? Because it's not a Delica, even though it has the same, like, kind of design and body and stuff like that. I actually think that the H1 Salt 2 is kind of better, simply because that blade shape is the balls, the shit. The coolest. I think that blade shape is superior to the original Delica. I am obsessed with using this blade shape. I love this one, but I like how robust this one is. I love that it totally drops down here and it's just like a really thick tip to use that you don't have to worry about, you know? I have broken Delicas in the past. If you're looking for thin and slicey, go for the Delica, obviously, if you don't beat on your knives. But if you're looking for the robust factors of, like, what we were just talking about, the sheep's foot mini grip, if you're looking for this blade shape, but in a Spyderco model, and just looking for an absolute beater that you can freaking do drywall with or something stupid, this is it. This thing is a tank. I love that blade shape and that grind. I don't know. I just, I really like the slight modifications that they did to this. Also, this has no liners. So the Delica, I don't know, the lighting is so bad. It's a really rainy day here. The Delica has liners. I actually don't like that because they're completely unnecessary in my opinion. So when you have the same model essentially, but completely FRN, no liners, nothing, that's freaking cool to me. Because this is still tough as shit, guys. The liners in the Delica I don't feel are needed. This is a tough knife. No liners. So I really like this. I think this is better than the Delica. And if this came in, if this was in a different steel, like if this was in Magna Cut, for example, whew. End of story. So that one actually scored higher than the Delica to me. Okay, how many do we have left? We have 5 left. It's getting hot in here, guys. This is where it really starts to become cutthroat. Ooh, Bugout. You guys probably thought this would score higher, but there are kind of other knives that I think are a little superior, I guess. The Bugout is one of my favorite knives of all time. And if this was a competition with all of my knives, lightweight, not lightweight, all that good stuff, it probably would have scored higher. But when it's in its own group, it's kind of right in the middle for me. So totally awesome blade shape, totally awesome size and length and everything. I love the Bugout. The mini one to me was trash, way too small, felt like a toy. I could have chucked it against a wall and broken it. That's what I felt like. I just didn't like it. I like how normal and user-friendly the full size feels. I really like it. I know some people don't like the flex. This one doesn't actually flex too bad. I know that's an issue for people, but yeah, I love the Bugout, and the only reason it scored right in the middle was just because the competition moving forward it has a lot to offer. That's it. But I love this Bugout, especially when you put a normal Benchmade clip on it. Guys, this is just a game changer. The little mini clip I really don't enjoy very much. When you make this a normal knife with a normal clip, ooh, I love that. I think that looks incredible. I love the feeling in hand. It lays very flat. I just feel like this is kind of a fantastic knife with that clip. But yeah, right in the middle for me, Benchmade Bugout, which is really surprising. Let's see what else we have. So, TRM Neutron 2? Better than the Bugout? Why? Well, for me, it's because I feel that this lock has longer, like a better longevity than the axis lock. Now, I have never had Omega springs break on me. I've never had any faulty ones or anything like that. But just looking at the logistics of this, I feel that this liner lock may or may not outlast the springs in the Benchmade Bugout. So I scored this a hair higher. Also, this is just a really cool thin slicey blade. I love the blade shape. I love the ergonomics. It's lightweight. I think the Neutron 2 is one of the best knives I've ever used, and you guys know I freaking hated it the first time around because I had the first version, but this second one is incredible. I love it. And I think when I had done a comparison between this and the Bugout before, they were like tied maybe. I can't actually remember which one I scored higher, but at least as of right now, I think this is just a little bit better, I guess. Also, it just feels more rugged. It's much more robust. It does have some liners in there, but they made this super crazy lightweight. So it just feels nice and durable and rugged, even though it has a really thin and slicey blade. Action is incredible. Yeah. There's that. Okay, number 8. So we're scoring pretty high here, guys. Number 8. Spyderco Sage 5 Lightweight. I love this thing. Now, this barely makes the cut. This is like 2.9 ounces. This barely makes the lightweight cut. And the fact that they called it a lightweight is kind of surprising just because it's pretty hefty for a lightweight knife. It has liners. It's kind of overbuilt in some senses. I mean, look at the size of those pillars. Those are beefy, guys. Compression lock, decent, like, thickness on the blade. I mean, it does thin out a lot. But for a lightweight knife, this is beefy. If you're looking for a lightweight knife under 3 ounces that has great texture, just a great knife all around that doesn't feel flimsy as fuck, this is it, guys. I am obsessed with the Sage 5 Lightweight. I think this is one of the most overlooked and one of the best offerings from Spyderco in their entire lineup. Lightweight or not, regardless. This is one of their best knives. Hands down. I love the texturing on this compared to the other bi-directional texturing. Like, this pattern is way more grippy to me than their typical, like, square one. Blade shape is the frickin' best. This is the best, guys. End of story. This is one of their best knives. I am obsessed with this. But it comes with a wire pocket clip that I instantly had to replace with the Lynch clip. I don't like that. And one other thing that is kind of pokes at me a little bit is the compression lock is great, but when this knife closes, you kind of like feel the blade. Not the cutting edge, but that area right there. So when you close this and your finger has disengaged that lock and you flick it closed, at times on the tip of your finger, you actually feel that tang, this part, because it sticks out so much, you actually kind of feel that hit you. And it's not uncomfortable, doesn't hurt, nothing. It's just, not like too close for comfort, but it's just kind of weird feeling because like on the Para 3 Lightweight, that doesn't happen. When I close this, I've never actually had any of this, like hit my finger when it closes. It's pretty far away in there. Like it just, you don't feel it. But for some reason, when I close this Sage, just like right now, I felt that frickin' nub hit me. And it's just like weird. Right there, it's so close. You just feel that. I'm touching it. I'm touching it right now. So it might have actually scored higher, but that's just like a weird, I don't know. I just don't like that it hits my finger. But aside from that, this is just one of the best offerings they have, guys. I am obsessed with the Sage 5 Lightweight. Even this color scheme in this steel. Oh, and the blade finish. Everything about this is just incredible. And this is a hard user, guys. They really nailed that blade. It's robust, but it slices extremely well because it has so much room to thin out. And that full flat grind, whoo, guys, Winner. This is a winner. That's why it's number 8. All right. Number 9, we're getting close. Here we go. Let's see if you guys know what this is by just inserting the tip. Do you know what that is? Do you know? Do you know? This. The Doug Ritter Hogue MSK blah 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 8,000 numbers. Who knows what it is? It's the mini Ritter. So this is basically Hogue's version of the MiniGrip. After Doug kind of like left Benchmade and went over to Hogue. So they still make these. They just actually dropped some Jade G10 versions of the mini and the full size on KnifeWorks today. Beautiful. I think they're in 20 CV like this. But yeah, so this is number 9. One of the best knives ever made, hands down. Comes in under 3 ounces. This one is in Starburst G10, black G10. This is literally one of the best knives ever created. I cannot find much wrong with this at all. I feel that this blade shape is improved over the MiniGrip. It slices better. It cuts better. I feel that these springs being a hair thicker in diameter give it a more robust feeling. Very good grip on the thumb studs and the axis lock here, or the able lock as they call it. Ergonomics, best ever. Grip, incredible. This, in use, is literally one of the best knives ever created. I'm obsessed with this knife. But that pocket clip leaves a little bit to be desired, as I've said. I just feel that the retention is not the best. And supposedly, a decent amount of science went into this. But I just feel that it's just not my favorite clip. I think I, at some point, might throw, like, a Benchmade clip on here, the original one or something, because I have heard from numerous people that they fit. But, yeah, in hand, the clip just melts. Like, you do not feel it. It's very comfortable. And if you don't care about pocket clips, just leave it alone. Because it feels... oh, it's a dream in hand. I just think that the retention, because it's so... I don't even know how to describe it, but you're looking at it right now. I just feel like the way this is designed, it just doesn't have a ton of tension on this area, maybe. So it's very loose fitting. It's kind of like the Delica. I just feel that the pocket clips from Hogue are just kind of flimsy. I don't know. There's not much there. But other than that, guys, and that is so easily replaceable, that's why this comes in at number 9, because it's just perfect otherwise. This knife is freaking perfect. It feels so good, and it's a performer. I have mentioned, this 20 CV is very well done. Just as good as TRM's. I think I mentioned it might be a hair better. So good, guys. So dang good. Perfect. Oh my gosh. Number 9, Mini Ritter from Hogue. Definitely try one out if you haven't yet. Highly, highly recommend. Now, we're at number 10, the last knife, the best knife in this lineup, and you must already know what it is, because you know that we can't have a lightweight lineup without the Spyderco Native 5 Lightweight. This is the best lightweight knife on the market in existence, in my opinion. End of story. I am obsessed with the Native 5 Lightweight. So let's go over why, because you might be looking at this and be thinking, wait, you scored the Delica so low because of the not modern locking mechanism, basically. Here's the thing about being modern. There's a very fine line in my head between, like, traditional feel and modern feel, and then, like, you know, teetering that line of using traditional mechanisms because they are rugged and work well and they're tried and true. Like, I'm kind of rambling here because I'm excited about it. Okay, so to me, The Delica has a back lock, whatever you want to call it, but it feels outdated, kind of. Like in using it, there's just nothing exciting about this back lock to me, and it feels overpriced and old and outdated. Okay? But then you go to the Native 5 lightweight, same locking mechanism and everything, but to me, in my brain, even though it has the back lock, it feels more modern. And it might be the ergonomics, it might be that this blade shape gives me the fizz. I think there are just things about the Native 5 lightweight that are way more exciting to me than the Delica, and that's why, even though this still is an old school locking mechanism, the entire build as a whole is much more exciting and modern to me. So, this blade shape is, as I have mentioned in numerous videos, one of the best ever created. This blade shape is perfect. It is thin, it is slicey. Now, granted, this one is fully modified by a friend, but the normal Native 5 lightweight is still very thin and slicey, but also robust. It's kind of like the Sage 5. It gives plenty of room to thin out, so it is a very good slicer through all types of materials, but it also is sturdy enough to do some hard work. This also feels more modern to me because I am obsessed with that forward choil. Being able to choke up on this knife is a game changer for me, and it might not seem like a big deal, but the Delica, you're just far away from that blade. You're far away from that blade, and I feel like there is a ton of real estate here that has not been utilized, and I think that is too old school. It screams, I'm not at my full potential. I have been forgotten. That's what this yells at me, because you have all of this real estate here that is not used. That could be used for a choil, more cutting length, who knows what. Obviously, this would have to be completely re-engineered, and it's not going to happen. But do you see what I'm saying? This just has kind of been forgotten, kind of like the MiniGrip, and it's just left as is, whereas the Native 5 lightweight, I feel, has some very modern upgrades that are huge game changers. So that choil with that jimping in there is huge for me. That's something I really appreciate. I love that I can choke up on this and twist and turn and pry and cut and slice, and I am completely locked into that knife. On this, I'm pretty far away. Also, I feel that the blade shape on this, not the blade shape, but the way it's designed, not nearly as much longevity in this sharpening experience on this blade as the Native 5. So this has a way longer cutting life, in my opinion, because you have a long ways to sharpen until you blow this blade out. Modern. That blade shape, modern. I love that it's kind of like chunky but refined at the same time. Texturing is great. Ergonomics are great. Again, this one is modified, but the original one is still very well done. Perfect length. And it is really strong and sturdy. This, I feel like I could kind of beat on, and it's not going to give up. It's very rugged. Delica, not so much. This is very slimline. Very slimline. And it just can't take as much hard use as the Native. Now, I know that some people don't believe in hard use. I know some people don't believe in using your knives, using your shit, just staring at them. Well, if you are one of those people that likes to stare at your knives and not use them,